every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central, so you can find out all the things that are happening in the world of Project DieHard, meet some amazing people along the way, and get all those details from the man himself. Brian Gibson is joining us tonight. He is the founder and the steward of this mission, and I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in to say hi and get us going. How you doing, Brian?
Hello, sister. Doing as well as I can expect to on a Monday.
Excellent.
Again, folks, understand this. The rules are not going to change. The ask is not going to change. So quit asking and quit telling.
I think I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah, I think maybe. I mean, I don't understand how people don't understand this. I am just the steward. That's it. Let's bring this on. I don't know if this slide, do your little thing, get us wherever we got to be. I think this first slide explains it all. All right.
Nice and big on my screen so I can see everything.
Well, he's just showed in, so hold on. Let's bring him in. Hey, brother, we're starting the slide deck right now. Take a look. You got a bright light behind you. We can't even see your face.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I apologize. I didn't know where to go to get the Restream link. I was thinking I was getting on a Zoom. So
yeah, you're good.
This is my first time on Restream, so bear with me, okay?
Okay. All right, but now back to this first slide.
I'm here.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Can you see me better now?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So, this first slide. The mission needs alpha personalities. Okay? I'm not going to lie. I need alpha personalities.
Okay.
But you got to have Bravo heart.
I got it. I think that's who I already am. So we're all pretty good, and I am who I am.
Okay, that we are, brother. This is just going out, so I'm reminding everybody that follows us, right?
Blank wall.
The Father blessed me with the skills that I need. Okay, I was a combat medic. I was a senior non-commissioned officer. I went through the highest NCO development course in the Army. I'm good. I'm good. All right, here we are. Quality, not cost. That's the key to this mission. No red tape, no government money. It's God's plan.
Absolutely.
And
I see that.
Okay.
Oh, you're not talking to me anymore. Now we're talking to them, huh?
Yeah, we're talking to them.
Okay.
Couple based. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were still having our own discussion.
Nope, we're live.
Okay.
All right, guys. Look, check this out. The facility day is the third Saturday of the month. Sue, do you want to ask that question?
Turn your bodies inward a little bit. Okay.
Jesus showed up. Why didn't you?
There you go. I was there. It's called transparency. You want to see where your assistant goes. That's your chance.
We're dropping off a couple of partners. You come here. I understand. Okay. I did not.
Together, we save veterans' lives. Join the team. I can't.
Okay, good, and then just you, oh, well, we're gonna get plenty of plus sauce, okay, you and Haley.
The next time you get to come and see is
Oh no, not the karate stands.
Yeah.
Yes, all right, take the
all right. Meet your group. Thank you.
Sorry, I thought I was muted. I have a different button here.
Okay. Veteran fellowships. That's what our breakfast is. It's an outreach program. Veterans get conversation support fellowship. Yes, the meals are free. But I've been stressing from day one that face-to-face is the best way to check your vet. Have I not?
Mhm.
Here you go. Show up, sit down, speak up. Face-to-face changes lives. Not one more veteran lost to the demons. You guys think I'm a broken record, but if I don't keep beating it into people's heads, you're not going to understand. Number one, God owns this mission. Number two, no drugs, no alcohol. They let demons in. That's where they're not allowed. And number three, the prostitution of veterans' pain will not be used for profit. How hard is that to understand, people? There we are. Check your vet. You want to help? Right there, contact at projectdiehard.org or sue at projectdiehard.org or Kurt at projectdiehard.org or community at projectdiehard.org or volunteer at projectdiehard.org. We're not a secret. Now, folks, I want to introduce you to our newest resource/ministry partner. My brother here knows what is needed. And I'm just going to open it up to you, brother. Let you tell all of our followers who you are, what you do, and why you are helping Project DieHard. The floor is yours.
All right. Can you hear me now? All right, cool. It took me a little bit to get on, and I have notes, but if I pull those notes up, I won't be able to see the screen. So no notes as usual from the heart, and that's what I think you want anyway. So I'm just going to go with that. It's only half an hour, and I can go for 2, 3, 4 hours and not even scratch the scratch and a scratch of an elephant's butt as far as how much information there is available on this subject of suicide prevention. We have a whole program for it. And the cool part about Transformed Recovery is the program that we developed over the years. And I was given that vision when I was in my early 20s that he wanted me, and I didn't know what that looked like or anything, but that's why I call myself Revelation, because he's given me all these revelations over the years. So he'll show me a vision of something, but he won't tell me a date of when it's supposed to happen. So a lot of what's happening right now was given a long time ago, and this is the date. It's happening now. So this is good. I knew eventually that we would be doing television. I knew that we would be doing more with the vets than what I've done in the past. And I'm really honored to be able to serve the vets with Brian. And additionally, an incredible testimony of overcoming suicide. Mine is kind of different. My PTSD and my suicide came from my child abuse. So that started in 1972 at 7 years old. When the child abuse was going on, I wanted to kill myself. And I threatened my mom. I said, well, I'll just kill myself then, you know, because she was abusing us. She was a pedophile. And, you know, me and my brothers were going through hell in the household. She took a knife to me when I was 8 years old. So it kept getting progressively worse. And we were finally taken out of the house by 9 years old. Of course, this created a lot of anger between me and my father, because it's like, why would you be such a workaholic that you would just take off and work and let me have to be, as a little 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old little boy, the man of the house? So I was very angry at my dad. And I really didn't even understand until I got older where that anger all came from. But I carried these suicidal thoughts with me. And pretty much when you're a young person in your teens and you're just, you know, party till you puke and, you know, out there getting wild, trying to escape the pain. And that's really what we're doing. And the ultimate escape from the pain is suicide. You know, it could just end the pain if I could just end my life. But I was too chicken crap to do that. So I always figured I'd do it on a death wish and, you know, just be living on the edge and do crazy stuff. And maybe in the process, I would have an accident and I would die. Well, I thought all that through my head. And guess what? On June 10th, 1983, I put my arm through a window and I did die. I cut my entire muscle off. It was hanging by skin. The blood was through the air about 40 feet. I had no idea. Artery in the arm, and they took a vein out of the leg to replace the artery in the arm because they're about the same size. And I was a guinea pig experiment at Frederick Memorial Hospital in Milwaukee. But the point of this is I had that death wish, and eventually the death wish came true. But he had another plan because he knew then that I'd be talking to you now. And that's the coolest part about all of this, is the miraculous of what he'll do 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years is the same kind of miraculous of what he did with Elijah, right? Or many of you would say Elijah, who was extremely suicidal. And he's one of the three heavy hitters along with Moshe or Moses and Yeshua or Yahusha. You know, those are the three heavy hitters. They're the only three that did the 40-day fast that's recorded in the scriptures. And Moshe or Moses was suicidal as well. So, you know, we do have some major players that were suicidal in the scriptures that are kind of my heroes of Amunah or belief or faith, as some would say. These people motivate me big time. I mean, they have kept me alive, all right? So it's not just people that are here right now, this guy's my hero or whatever. I'm not going to point you to me. I'm going to point you to the Messiah, because he's the one that motivates me the most, because through everything he went through, including the crucifixion, he wasn't suicidal. Now that's super cool stuff. But he did know that they were going to kill him, of course, right?
Brother, again, yeah, look, when I had the 45 in my mouth, and then that veteran called out of the blue, that was God. That was God going, hey, I'm not done with you yet.
Yep, exactly. Hospital, and all of this, you know, was and I gave me CPR to bring me back. I saw him, all right? He was nothing. These afterlife things, I don't know where they're not real. I just can tell you my experience. Even type thing Scripture says I saw the light. I mean, it was the most magnificent, most incredible, most phenomenal light that was at the end of the tunnel that I was going up in the hospital bed at Frederick Memorial that I could ever have imagined. Okay. And I didn't understand what the other tunnel, but that's what not until my I was in the delivery room 7 years later, and they took the baby and shoved arms and see, and the room that he got in the tunnel, and oh my gosh, that's what was in the tunnel, right? Of my heavenly Shamayim, Abba, right? My heavenly Father, I got with me, you know, as a son, and now here I am the Father, and the umbilical cord. It was just a miraculous that I had never experienced anything like the tunnel in the birthing. So, you know, just about Heim or high or if you will. Then
well, brother, your testimony we will dive into, but our podcast here is my big thing for bringing you on was your programs, your recovery program.
All right, so
I need people to understand why you're bringing those to our facilities.
All right, so what happened 3 years later, fast forward, tired of continuing to fight, no, went back to my own vomit, and I to party. So in that, I was a Judas, and I just kicking up off the ground at Alpine Valley at least 20 some times, having her puke in the car on the way home. I was you know, other drugs. I was just disgusted with trying to escape, because honestly, you can't, you know, you just can't escape yourself. So that brought me to the rock bottom reality. And I do want to say that is the first point of transformed recovery. So this program that he gave me a vision of, about 4 years later, 5 years later, he started telling me, you're going to do a scriptural program that goes far beyond Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous. It's going to go beyond these 12 steps. And of course, you know, Celebrate Recovery came out and other things came out. It's like, well, not to take anything away from any of them, because they do have a tendency to work for people if they understand the source and they grab a hold of that power that the source has. But what he wanted me to do with that is define it in in-depth detail and put a counseling program with it and a housing program with it. Because in Acts 2, and by the way, I don't do anything. It's really him in me. It's the he and me that does it all. So I got to make that very clear that I'm just a servant. I'm just a vessel. And I ask him to speak to me and through me, and he does. And it's a beautiful thing as that happens. And then, you know, we take people through those 12 steps. So my book that should have been released already, but we had so many, and we have actually written a lot of it, and we've lived it in the houses. I just didn't publish it yet. So the first one is called Blueprints. There will be 9 other books to follow. There's 77 pages each. So there's 770 pages that are coming. All right. But the first one I should have done hopefully by the end of this week, which is the scriptures that go to the steps. There's about 40 to 70 scriptures for each step. Then there's the power principles that have scriptures as well. And then on top of those principles, we have the Mind of Messiah motivation, because we all need to get motivated in the morning. And people just really are attached to certain words. So I have the 40 words that are the most important. Also, there's over 500 promises in the scriptures, and we need to stand on the promises. We need to not look at the curse, but we need to look at the promise. And so all of that is wrapped up in a bag of chips because it's him. He is the living word, according to Yehukanan or John 1, right? And if it's the he and me, that means we're getting the word in us, not just saying, oh, he's in me. Well, if he's in you and you're still in your flesh and you're all about you and you're not about he, then are you really, you know what I mean? And that takes time.
Brother, I understand. It's just, yeah, I've invited you because I know your programs work. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's because his scriptures work, but it's the challenge
again, folks, this is where it all comes from, is God.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
But this is why he's joining us, because when two or more are gathered, he is there.
Right.
You
so
understand?
in the book of Acts 2, it says, and then they went from house to house. So I did want to just kind of share a vision that we got with House of Worship, which we now call raz.bet. So you go to raz.bet, and raz.bet is telling people, look, you don't have to go to some expensive place where they have thousands of dollars of overhead to be in a place. You can go to House of Worship. You can have a house of worship because you're already there. It's your house. Okay. You're supposed to turn your own home into a place of worship. And once people get that and they get over, oh, I got to go to church. No, you got to bring him into your home. That's what Acts 2 is talking about. And then they said, and then they went from house to house. So they fellowship together, two or more gathered in his name, like you said. But very clearly, I got a list of about 17 houses in what most people would call the New Testament. I call it the seventh revision to the Berit Hadashah. But in the seventh, okay, there are definitely specific places that we know, John's mom's house for one, Gaius's mom's house, they were usually wealthy women who had the gift of hospitality, who would love to cook and love to bring everybody in. And it was just a really great thing. And it's still that way for me. Most of the people I hang around with that are great cooks are women, not men. I'm sure some of you are a chef out there somewhere, so I'm not trying to offend you, but my wife is a great cook, So when we have people come together in houses, there's just a warmth. There's a, way to do it. So don't feel like, oh, gee, I can't go to Kentucky, don't feel like, oh, I can't go to El Paso, Texas, where Rock is, or I can't go to Sussex, where the Roscoffs are. No, you are already there. You're in your house. You're in your home. And the whole idea is, as you're transforming, you transform your home into a home of shalom. So a house of worship starts. That's for the new people. And as you grow, it becomes a home of shalom. So we teach, because man, if you can make your home a home of shalom, man, now you got a really great place to be. And we just love that.
Again, brother, look, our residents, veterans, get to learn that.
Right.
So when they get back on their feet, they get to go and build that. They get to go and have a home and start the worship services and invite their friends, okay? Look, folks, I do believe in congregating the kingdom, okay? I'm not saying you have to go to a certain time at a certain place, but I am saying that God commands us to come together in worship, okay? It doesn't say here, there, anywhere, okay? We've had long discussions.
we already wrote a song too, Brian, that'll help people. So we got a music ministry as well, or a music therapy, if you will. So we've been doing all the Psalms or the Tehillim. So the Tehillim, you can be at home, you can turn a song on, and it's going to give you great words, great power. So Tehillim 91, the secret place of the Most High, is an incredible, because that secret place is different than the fellowship place, right? Where two or more. The secret place is just you and him. And of course, they refer to it as a prayer closet, or I call it the Ask Yah closet, right? So you're just going to get in there and ask him a bunch of questions. And the other place that's kind of my secret place is actually the bathtub. When I get relaxed in a tub, there's just something that happens, and he just starts talking to me, and I write books, and I write messages, and I write songs, and I do all this stuff because it's not really me, but it's he in me that's putting this all together. So yeah, we've just been having a great time with the Whatever Music Factory. And you can type in on YouTube Whatever Music Factory by Rock Rice or Whatever Music Factory by Sand Rice, and you'll hear some of those songs. I don't know if Sue can actually play any of that, but there is a song about suicide and overcoming suicide, and it's called Whiskey Whispers, and that is on. So I don't know if you guys can play something, because I'm not in control, because we're on Restream, not on Zoom, but I don't know how to do it, but I can tell you it's there. It's under Music Factory. So
this is just the first introduction to the veteran community for you.
Okay.
Okay. There's a bunch of things that we're going to be rolling out. Okay.
Cool. I guess I just want everybody to know we have our own music on top of everything else. So,
brother, again, that's the whole thing. You know, it's, yeah, look, guys, we're going to do everything in our power to help this brother expand the kingdom, because that's what it's supposed to be, helping one another. Okay.
I want to know too, Brian, that it's not just one genre that I like. I already know, because I was a DJ for recovery in the first 5 years, from 87 to 92. And from 1987 to 1992, I would do all the recovery functions in the state of Wisconsin. I was the primary DJ. So by 92, I did 92 shows, which is kind of interesting that number worked out that way. But there's only 52 weeks in a year. So that means every Narcotics Anonymous, every Alcoholics Anonymous, every club, the Alano clubs, all of that, I was there, and I didn't play just what I liked, okay? Because it would have been probably heavier. I played what you would hear at a wedding for when you see a good DJ, and they're going to make sure they got 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, rock, polkas, waltzes, merengues, cha-chas, swing, tangos, you name it, we jam it, rap, punk, funk, we got it all, rock and roll, rices. So that's what we kind of do with this Whatever Music Factory, and that's why it's called that, whatever, is because we're trying to make sure we reach all the people. And so there's something for everybody. And my wife and I went to Arthur Murray Dance Studio. My wife is in recovery too, and we took dance lessons. And I want to tell you, you know, fun in recovery is what Recovery Rocks is about, which is our function of why we're here in the Dells, which we're going to have Brian up here next year to speak, probably at Christmas Mountain Villages, where we'll be. I'll be talking to them tomorrow with the Hilton program. But I just want you to know that Recovery Rocks is really utilizing music and artists that are clean, like Eric Clapton will be 40 years next year. Smokey Robinson's 40 years this year. Ted Nugent is 40 years. Tommy Shaw from Styx is 40 years. I mean, Carlos, we're going to see Tommy Shaw, Chicago, and Carlos Santana after we leave here. So really great stuff, you know. And so alongside of my music, which I think is pretty cool, but their music is like classic, right? And so we get to enjoy all that.
Again, brother, just like I've always told people, if a veteran comes to me and says, hey, I think underwater basket weaving will help me sleep better, My only response is, okay, team, how do we do that safely?
You're right.
That, again, there's no such thing as a recognized therapy. There's no such
Right.
thing as a recognized this or that.
I think every addict will tell you that music, when they first got clean, was so important for them. I mean, it just helped to heal the heart. You know what I mean?
Look, I know music is a therapy.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, music is not just a therapy. Music, before we went out onto combat patrols, we played music because it pumped you up.
Yep.
It got you psyched.
Check this out. Some of the stuff that I'm writing with my robots, because it's Ruach and the robots, right?
He froze.
Frozen for a moment. Hopefully, we'll be back here. At least it finally quieted down on my end a little bit. Sorry, I
No, you're
thought
good.
I was good, but thank you for speaking up. Yeah.
You're good. Look, until Kevin comes back, hey, this is what people got to understand. Yeah. Tammy Roberts, it was very nice talking with you today. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing it out.
Yeah, that's great. I love that she was on here, and hopefully she's still listening in. It's fantastic.
Again, folks, if you have a question about the mission, type it into the comments.
Because obviously we can see them, so please do that. Let us know you're out there. I would love to, actually, you know what would be fun is to find out how far and wide are we reaching. So wherever you're at, if you want to let us know where you are, that'd be fun.
I know Tammy's out in New Braunfels, Texas.
Oh, very nice.
We had a nice talk today because New Braunfels is 30 minutes from San Antonio. I know of it because I was in AIT at Fort Sam Houston, which is in San Antonio. And yeah, guys, remember my first wife was German. And if you want to experience Germany in America, you go to New Braunfels, Texas.
There's a few places like that around here too, because there's a whole lot of us German types up here.
Or you could have been like me and lived there for 7 years.
Hey
Total
everyone,
tangent,
I'm
but
in my
we
car
actually
on
had the
my
pleasure of
way.
visiting Germany 20-ish years ago. More than that, actually. But it looked like we were driving in Wisconsin. It was kind of, we really realized how similar it felt. It felt like we're at home. It was cool.
Oh, yeah, again, Roden, yeah. Look, guys, America, love it to death. But the stone wall that went through my backyard was built in the 12th century.
Yeah. History means a little different thing in different places.
Okay, just like, look, I walked up the temple of Ur. Look it up in the Bible. I walked up it. You know it's in Iraq, right?
I don't. I know there's so much of the history is in that region, but yeah, I don't. I would love to see all that. That's amazing to think, to build, because I know there's tours where you can walk where Jesus walked. That it's like, okay, you know what? It's not just stories in a book. It actually happened in a location.
Well, the
Someday.
reason I'm bringing all this up is this is why this is why you need to come to an event we do, because veterans, there's a lot of experience, a lot of things that we've gone through that no other human being has ever gone through. Okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're
Say
good.
again?
So
Yeah.
let me just say that the Death Angel was killed when I was in my 3rd year of being clean. So hallelujah, since 1989, I think it's about October, I got delivered from smoking cigarettes, still doing.
And again, he froze.
Oh no. Go ahead. If you want to finish with your thought there, Brian.
My thought was, this is why you need to come to our events, because veterans have been around the world. We've seen the most beautiful things. Yes, we've seen ugly. But see, we don't like talking about the ugly stuff that much, especially to civilians.
They can't handle it. People don't want to know. I mean, seriously, people put on my belt. People don't. It can't be real.
Well, again, folks, before the show we were talking about, because Sue has never put on a uniform. She's never done it. But she deals with veterans, so I slowly educate her to make her ready, to make her better in dealing with veterans. I sent her a YouTube video that we're not going to play here, but it's a poignant point. Since 1972, we have not had a draft. Okay? I'm going to say it again. You can hate war all you want, but you cannot hate the warrior.
Bingo.
Okay? I would much rather fight terrorism in their country than in my country.
Could not agree with you more.
All right, let's try one more time.
Bring him back.
All right, brother, I gotta warn you, man.
It was this phone's problem, because this was my Wi-Fi here, because it's a lot faster than the resort Wi-Fi, and the battery went dead on the phone. I can't believe that I didn't have this thing charged. So I apologize. I'm on a different phone. I had to shut off a Facebook Live. That was another way that we were kind of reaching some people, bringing them into the DieHard system. So anyway, did the last thing that you heard me say that I got delivered on October of 1989? Yeah. All right. So that really was the turning point. And then shortly thereafter, I was about 3-4 years clean. I got filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, or as many, would say, the Holy Spirit. So that was the game changer. And I want to make that real clear. You can only get so far in your inner healing and deliverance until you get filled with his power, which is Alua or Aloha. Believe it or not, the word Aloha means power, right? And it comes from Israel. It comes from the original language, which is Alua. So Aloha, Alua, it all means power. And we need that power, because it's not our power, it's his power. Hallelujah. That's the real higher power. So that higher power they talk about in AA and NA and all that, it really just comes down to him. And it's that breath, that ruah, alua. So the breath is the ruah. That's what created us. He breathed into the dirt, right? And that's how he made us, from dirt. So it really, really all starts to come together once you study the ancient language. It's like, oh, wow, this really makes a lot of sense. So I think it's not only that creates man, but it's also that rebuilds man, transforms man, and, really does it. So the turning point, I guess what I'm trying to say in my recovery of where I really grew up and I started to come against the sexual addiction and all the other addictions, because they don't all go at once. It's a slow process, right? The food, I didn't address the food until I was 35, and I got clean when I was 21. So I didn't realize I was getting heavy and that I was looking horrible and that I was, a food addict until I was 35 years old. If I was to show you all the people I got clean with back in the 80s, what they look like today, you'd be like, oh my gosh, because many of them are very heavy. I lost one of my ministers, Marilyn, up in Green Bay. We were a couple blocks away from Packer Stadium, to food addiction, to obesity. She was over 600 pounds. She couldn't even get out of bed. The medics had to break the door open to get her through the door to the hospital. They had to cut away like a couple 100 pounds and then of her stomach. And then as that was healing, it never healed right. And she ended up dying of that infection that just never went away. So I lost a really great woman. She was really great. But the one thing she never conquered was the food addiction. So I do want people to realize that we take nutrition and health very seriously. My wife is a certified holistic health coach. I believe that the brain healing and all of the parts of the body all come together for a very special, purpose. So transformed recovery deals with 5 highways. We drive down 5 highways, right? The spiritual highway, the mental highway, the emotional highway, the physical highway, and the dreaded financial highway. We all got to deal with that doggone, how am I going to take care of, stuff and pay the bill, right?
Okay, brother. Now, this is for the veterans that are listening.
Yep.
Look, guys, some of you've got it down pat. You're doing it.
Yep.
But some of our brothers and sisters out there need the help.
Yep.
Okay. And instead of throwing them into some fly-by-night, think they know what they're doing, this is years in the making that my brother here is now part of this team. Okay. He's the one that advises us on that. He's bringing his programs to our facilities. Why? Because he's lived it. He knows it. The people he's going to put in place will know their programs.
I didn't mention, Brian, either that about 3 out of every 10 that have gone through our in-house rehab, 3 out of every 10 are usually vets. So my experience now goes 40 years of working with, mostly in the beginning, the first 20 years was Vietnam vets because they were still alive back then, right? And now it's been, the Iraq and all of that since then. But yeah, I grew up with, and in fact, I sold drugs with the Outlaws out of Chicago, and I dealt with a lot of vets that, later on, after I got clean, I approached them and I helped them get clean and stop. And some of them are still clean today. And so I know that it works. I guess that's what I want to say is, some of these vets now are in their late 70s that were in Vietnam, and they're wonderful guys, but their chance of making it this long, if they would have kept doing what they were doing, the way we partied, I don't think they'd be here. So it's pretty exciting that they are.
Again, brother, look, this is when God saved me and he gave me this mission, my job is the facilities. That's what people don't understand. Actually, from our discussion, yeah, I'm the steward of God's plan. But in the whole kingdom, I am just a deacon.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. That was really humble, and I really respect that you said that. You know, we all have to just be excited about who he's made us to be, right? I mean, we all got gifts, and we got to walk in the gifts and the talents that he gave each of us, right?
Yeah, again, that's the whole thing. I know in my mind, in my heart, that nobody can do it all. Well, I take that back. God can do it all. But we're not in his kingdom right now. We're in the world.
Yeah, when they started telling me that I was going to be the pastor or the shepherd or the roe, you know, and I would be doing that, and that was probably, I didn't receive that one until about 15 years ago, and I said, no, not me, just like Moses, right? No, pick somebody else. I don't want to do that job, because then you have to long suffer or be patient with people. And I want to just be the guy that gets on and says, hey, you know, and fire everybody up and be the evangelist. I don't want to have to go home with these people. But I really, all of a sudden it dawned on me, well, you've already been doing that. You've already been loving on these guys. It's really the same thing you've already been doing. You're just not going to do it through the normal church deal. You're going to do it in houses, and you're going to go where they are, and you're going to hold the puke pail when they're puking. You're going to clean them up when they're, you know, crapping on themselves and peeing on themselves and shaking and having delirial tremors. You're going to go through that. And even though the medical system said, oh, that's dangerous, you're going to get sued, you're going to kill somebody, you got to use drugs to bring people down, I said, no, you don't. We will not use drugs in our detox. You don't use drugs to get people off drugs. It doesn't even make any sense. And it's not scriptural.
Again, brother, it's common sense. We've had the discussion.
Right, but they haven't heard it yet. So I just shared a little bit of some of that, you know.
Yeah, look, guys, you know I have 10 pounds of titanium holding my spine together. Okay? Every time I go up to the VA, they want to give me a narcotic for pain.
Right.
And I got to remind them I'm a recovering alcoholic with addiction issues.
And, you know, some of them, even after you tell them that, they want to argue with you and try to get you, well, are you sure you don't want? And it's like, no, I don't want. I had a surgery a while back at the Mayo Clinic back when I was living in Arizona. And the nurses couldn't, you're not going to take any of these pain meds? You really need these pain meds. I said, you know what? I think my Messiah went through something a lot worse than this. So if he can bear that, all the scourgings and getting the crap beat out of him by the Roman soldiers with 39 lashes, I think I can do this, you know? And I did it, and I'll tell you, it was painful. But I never took the meds.
Again, brother, pain is an emotion. Emotions can be controlled. Pain. I had an old instructor tell me, pain lets you know you're alive.
There you go. Yep.
And if you're alive, you can fight.
Yep.
Okay, we're getting to that point of the program that we got to do our due diligence and everything. So we're going to turn it back over to you to guide us through this closing part.
We're here every week, and we're here for a reason. And we always leave on a word of hope for our veterans. So that's how we finish. We go around the room and share our word of hope for our veterans. So actually, Brian, I'll leave it to you. Would you like to go first, or should we have our first?
We'll have our guest go first. Yes.
All right, I'll pass it to you, Brock.
Well, the word of hope that I would give, if the three most distinct heroes, which I would say Elijah, as well as Moses or Moshe and Yahusha, all three of them are like, to me, they're like superheroes, right? If they can overcome what they had to overcome in life, and I mean extreme suicide for Elijah and Moses, Elijah especially, because Jezebel wanted to kill him. If they can do it, we can do it. And surely, AI reminded me, as I was talking through what I was going to talk to you guys about, AI reminded me, Rock, you're an overcomer. So I'm here to tell you, if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I don't deserve to be stuck in air. It's all a gift, and I'm very grateful.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Look, guys, check this out. I take no credit for the blessings of this mission. It all goes to God. I know through his guidance, his wisdom, his strength, that I get to wake up every morning and fight for you, my brothers and my sisters. I am not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to lie. It's time to step up and help, brothers, sisters. It's time to step up and help. You can do this. I know you can. Because I know what you've been through. I've been there. You just got to get up every morning and one foot in front of the other. If you're going to fall, no, not if, when you're going to fall, you fall forward.
Yes.
Don't ever give up. With that, I'm hoping to see you all September 2nd. You know where I'll be.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, back to you, Sue.
Excellent. Well, we're here every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central for Project DieHard Mission Monday Update. We expect to see you back here with us. Come on back and join us again next week, because, you're here for a purpose. God's not done with you yet. Stick around and find out what that is. Join us. Volunteer with us. Help someone else. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, as always.